Hello and welcome everybody to Perfectly Imperfect Hatha Yoga with Kim. I'm Kim and welcome to a space where anyone can become a yogi. We're going to begin by sitting up nice and tall, and you can sit up just on your yoga mat, on a block, a pillow, a blanket, folded up, or even on the edge of your couch or chair if that is what is available to you. Wherever you may be, let's take a second to sit up nice and straight through the spine, pushing into the sits bones. If I'm sitting on the edge of a couch or a chair, I'm just going to have the knees nice and bent with the feet firmly planted on the ground. Otherwise, if I'm sitting on the floor somewhere, then I'm pushing into the sits bones, the thighs are getting nice and heavy, and here we go, landing in the moment. We're going to try and stack the head, the heart, and the pelvis all in one straight line, lifting the heart space as we do and dropping the shoulders down and away. Once we find our foundation and our alignment, then we will tap into the breath, the fabulous 3, breathing into the belly, expanding with each inhale, and softening with each exhale. Maybe I close the eyes or find a nice gentle gaze. Maybe find a dristy, maybe the tip of my nose is always a place to find some focus. And here we go, just breathing and noticing and breathing. And as we pause and we ponder, we're going to try and consider self-acceptance. What does that mean to me? What does that mean to you? And it might mean something different to each individual. So finding your definition of self-acceptance. For me, it means embracing who I am in this very moment, the here and the now. To have goals for tomorrow, but yet still be content with today. So it doesn't mean that I have nowhere to go from here, but perhaps how can I still enjoy my present moment, even though I wish for more? Or not necessarily wish for more, but have goals in place for another day. And then here we go, still breathing, still noticing. Still nurturing. Still lengthening and strengthening. Trying to shine the heart space up towards the clouds. Tapping into how I am feeling today, how you are feeling today. As we pause the have-tos, the have-nots, the what-ifs, the what-fors, and we just land, being in the present moment, the beautiful gift that it is. With each inhale is a new opportunity, and with each exhale is a chance to let it all go. And as we breathe, we're sending the breath down in space as opposed to up. And then when we breathe out, that's when that upward energy comes up and out of the back body and out through the lips or the nose. And we're breathing and we're noticing and breathing. Noticing if I'm starting to collapse and if there's any way I can support my heart space here. Maybe I bring the shoulders closer together and drop them ever so more. Maybe I lift that Uddiyana Bandha, bringing that belly button up and in, tapping into the pelvic floor as well. Finding these accessory muscles to support us within this posture. And here we go. Let's begin by taking the nose towards the right side, breathing up and around, and then breathing out and down, and taking our nose on a journey we want to be very mindful of the neck, as we don't want to accidentally cause any damage here. So using the nose as a guide, keeping the shoulders down and away, the heart is nice and lifted, the thighs nice and heavy. And then maybe we reverse the circle, taking our nose in the opposite direction, maybe starting small this time, and then getting a little bit bigger with each breath. And if I find any place within that feels good to pause and ponder, maybe I find a little catch in the neck and it feels good to stay in one spot for a second or two. Just noticing and nurturing, pausing and pondering. There's no real right or wrong way, just noticing what feels good in our body today. That self-acceptance, right? That finding where I'm at today so that I can be my better self tomorrow, or even for the rest of the day. Alrighty, excellent job. From here, we're going to just wrap onto the knees a little bit more. So bringing the hands right and around on the knees, just getting a good clasp there. We're still going to make sure that the shoulders are down and away from the ears. So if you're noticing that your shoulders are creeping up to your ears here, no worries, you're not alone. We're going to just loop them back and down if that's the case, just allowing that heart space to stay nice and lifted here. And from here, we're going to take the heart space forward as we breathe in. I'm just going to situate myself here. Alrighty, and then here we go. We're going to breathe in. Send the heart space forward. Maybe the gaze goes up along with the nose. And if you have a headache, you might want to take the gaze down towards the nose rather than up towards the ceiling. And then as we exhale, we're going to take it the opposite direction, tucking the chin into the chest, thinking cat-cow here. The pelvis tilts forward, and then we breathe in again. Sending the heart space forward, dropping the shoulders down and away from the ears. Maybe we look up or down based on what feels good in our body today. And we tuck the chin and roll backwards. And if at any time I invite you into a position that does not feel good in your body, you are welcome to just come to a nice, comfortable seat of your choice and take conscious, deep breaths. And breathing in and up again. And then this time, really tuck the chin, really allow the shoulders to release, the pelvis to tilt forward. Maybe we push into one side more and then the other. Just really feeling it out here, and then we'll breathe back in. And we'll stack the head and the heart and the pelvis once more. Wonderful. We're going to uncross the legs here. We're going to bring the soles of the feet to the floor. All right, and if I am seated in a chair, then what we're going to do is you're going to cross the leg over and then look away. And if you're on the floor, then you're still pushing the feet into the mat or the floor below, and your knees are going to be nice and bent. You're still lifting up through the heart space, and then we tilt the knees towards the right side, and then we look away to the opposite side. So lifting up and out of the heart space, getting a nice, generous stretch in the hips and even in the neck. A nice, gentle lift of the heart space. And then from here, on your next inhale, we'll rotate back through center. Breathe in and up. And then as you exhale, send the knees towards the other side. And then we make sure the heart is nice and lifted. And then we look away. And again, if I'm seated in a chair, I'm just going to cross the leg over and then just look away. All right, finding what makes sense in your body today. And then we'll breathe back in through center. Wonderful job. And then we're gonna bring the left heel in and then the right. So our ankles are in front of each other rather than crossing at the ankle. And then here we go. From here, we're gonna take our fingers and we're still gonna be nice and lifted up through the heart. And then we'll take our fingers to the floor and we're just gonna walk them out until our sits bones we start to lift up off of the floor in front of us. And from here, we're gonna breathe the heart space up, look up, and then we can just bow the head here, or we can come down to the elbows and allow the head to get nice and heavy. If I am seated in a chair, I'll bring the soles of my feet to the floor and I'll just walk my fingers down my knees and tuck the chin, just like so. So I'm either seated with my hands nice and firmly planted and my chin is nice and tucked into the chest, or I'm down onto the elbows, doing the same with the chin, or if I'm in my chair, then I'm just walking my hands down my lap and tucking the chin into the chest. And whichever version you are in, take deep, conscious breaths, feeling the back body stretch with each inhale and feeling it soften with each exhale. Breathe in nice, deep, conscious breath. And exhale. Getting a nice, generous stretch in the right hip. And through the back of the neck as well. Nice. Take it one more deep breath in. And on your exhale, really tuck your chin, whichever version you're in. If you're lowered, you're going to just lift up to the hands. And then we'll walk the hands back, stacking back to the head, the heart, and the pelvis. Wonderful job. Alrighty, from here we're going to send the right leg out. And then we're going to breathe the hands up. And then we're going to just twist to the left side. And if you are in a chair, then you're just going to simply just bring your left hand to your right hand to your left leg, excuse me, and then just twist ever so slightly towards the left side. All right, so either seated with the right leg extended, the left leg bent, and we just twist towards the left, just like so. Breathe in and out, allowing the exhale to bring the belly button to spine, and maybe this twists us ever so more. And maybe we tilt the left ear over the left shoulder, getting a nice generous stretch through the right side of the neck. And then we exhale back, centering ourselves to our right leg here. The toes are nice and flexed towards the ceiling. We'll breathe the fingertips up as we push into the sits bones. We breathe in and look up. And then we exhale. Maybe we bend the knee, coming to Janu Sirsasana, head towards knee pose. And here we go. Traditionally, you would want to bring the nose to the knee, but we're going to be nice and generous. That's maybe a goal for another day, but today I'm going to accept where I'm at and lovingly do so. I'm going to breathe nice conscious breaths, just like we've been doing all practice. Feeling the rise and fall of the back body. Maybe I take my left hand and take it to the outside of the right leg, getting another nice generous stretch in the thoracic spine, into the shoulder. And if I want a little more, I can take that right hand and I can walk it towards the back. There. Getting an even more generous stretch here. Breathing. And if I've gone too far, my breath has become restricted, then I'm just going to lovingly come back and find where my breath can flow freely in and out
And there's no judgments, just love. Alright, take one more deep breath in wherever you are. And then we're gonna, if you have taken the twist, come on back to square your hands and on your ankle here. And then we'll tuck the chin, and then we'll breathe in as we rise up. Nice and slow. Wonderful job. We're gonna bring that right heel back in, just in front of the left again. And before we take it to the other side, we're going to clasp the knees just like we had before. And then from here, instead of coming up, forward and backward, we're gonna take the heart space around, just like we did with the nose. So breathing in as we come around. And then breathing out as we come back around. Notice how my voice has changed as I tuck the chin. Really getting into the hips. Breathing up and around and back. Really getting into the hips there. And if I, just like as we did with the neck, if I find a space that maybe needs a little tending to, then maybe I just linger there, rocking back and forth. And maybe I take it the opposite direction if I haven't already. Just really noticing and nurturing as we pause and we ponder, tapping into the breath. And accepting where we are today. Wonderful work. Come back and stack that head over the heart and the heart over the pelvis. And we're just going to reverse our cross here. I'm just going to fix it. There you go. That's good. Alrighty. And then I'm just going to, so this time we'll bring the right heel in, bring the left heel to follow. And we're going to do just like we had before. So we're going to take the fingertips to the mat. And we're going to walk ourselves forward. And again, if I'm in my chair, then I'm just walking my hands down my lap. All right, from here, we're going to breathe in and up. And then if it feels right, I'm going to come down to my elbows and tuck the chin. Or I'll stay nice and lifted if that doesn't feel good. And if I'm in my chair, then my feet are firmly planted. And I'm just walking my hands down my lap and tucking the chin. Taking nice, deep, conscious breaths. Finding what feels good here today. Maybe checking in with the neck, maybe finding a gentle sway. Noticing how I'm feeling today. Maybe noticing how each side was very different, or maybe not. This journey is yours to take what makes sense to you and leave what does not. No sense of stressing or worrying, as this practice is intended to help you discover the true meaning of you. And that might be very different to everyone. Alrighty. And again, we'll breathe in one more time. And as we exhale, we'll really tuck the chin. We'll lift up if we have lowered, and we'll walk the fingertips back. We'll stack that head, the heart, and the pelvis one more time, and then we'll send the left leg out, Alrighty, we're pushing into the sit bones. We're lifting up nice and tall, and if I'm in my chair, my legs are still nice, my feet are still firmly planted on the floor, and I'm just gonna simply just turn, place my left hand still on my right leg, and twist. So if I'm on the floor, my left leg is nice and extended. I'm pushing into the sit bones. I'm going to take my left hand to my right leg. I'm going to set my right hand behind me as a little kickstand. I'm going to breathe in to lift and lengthen. And my exhale is what twists me towards the left. Ever so gently. No need to force or crank. Discovering who I am today and how
how I am feeling today. And maybe I take the right ear over the right shoulder, getting into the neck as well. Nice generous stretch to the left side of the neck. Excellent job. Let's square back to our left leg here. And if I'm in my chair, I can just simply hug around my knees and come into a little love cave. Excuse me for not giving that cue before. So if I'm seated on the floor and I have my left leg extended, just like we did on the other side, we're going to push into those sit bones. We're going to breathe the fingers up. And then we're going to bend through the knee as much as we need to, and then we'll take our fingertips towards the left side now. Janu Sirsasana, or head towards knee pose on the left side. Finding what feels good here. Noticing and nurturing, pausing and pondering, and maybe we take the right hand to the outside of the left leg this time. And if I want a little more, I can walk my left hand back towards the back here. Really getting a generous twist and stretch throughout the thoracic spine. So good for the digestive system. In fact, I had a little bit of indigestion before I got here. I have noticed since I've been tapping into the breath and doing these twists, but I'm starting to feel a little bit better and it feels really great. Alright, if I don't already have the leg nice and squared with the hands here, we're going to come back to square the hands around the ankle. We're going to breathe in, really feel that back body stretch, really take the deepest breath you've taken all day. And as you exhale, really tuck the chin, really push into the sit bones and rise back up. Oh, I can just feel my low back. It's almost like it's singing, as I come here. Excellent job. We're going to bring that left heel back in, just in front of the right again. And then we're going to clasp the hands around the knees and we're going to send the heart space forward, maybe starting on the right side this time. Really getting into those hips. You know what to do here. And you can make these circles as big and buoyant as you want, or as teeny and tiny as you need. Really getting into the spine here. Ridding the body of any extra energy. Just exploring here. There's no right or wrong. And I'm really feeling a catch in my right hip, so that's what I'm going to tend to here, and you tend to what feels good to you. Here we go. Really getting into the hips there, finding what feels good. And not to steal yoga with Adrian's phrase, but it's so perfect. It's so perfectly imperfect. And here we go. Alrighty, excellent job everybody. We're gonna take it to all fours here just for a second. And you can pad the knees if you wish, or you can even leave it down here because we're gonna come to, for the head, because we're gonna come to extended child's pose. You can even place it underneath the feet here if that feels nice and cozy for your feet. So find where you would like your prop, or you can just place it to the side. If you are still in your chair, you're just gonna take nice, deep, conscious breaths. Alrighty, here we go. We're gonna send the knees as wide as the mat, and then we're gonna walk the hands forward. We're gonna really push into the hands here. We're gonna breathe in, look up, heart space shines up, thinking upward facing dog or cobra, breathe in. And then as you exhale, allow the heart space to soften all the way down to the mat here. Nice and slow, letting the head just kiss the mat here. Nice and beautiful. Taking nice, deep, conscious breaths. Adjusting what you need to, or maybe just letting it go. Taking these deep conscious breaths, we can push into the hands nice and firmly, nice active arms, or we can tent through the palms coming up onto the fingertips, or I might like to bring the hands together, Anjali Mudra, and send the hands behind the head, walking the elbows forward, getting a nice stretch in the triceps as well.
So you find where you would like your hands to be, whether active and long, tenting through the palms, or Anjali Mudra behind the head. Whichever version you have chosen, still send that breath down towards the hips. Nice, big, conscious breaths. Really feeling that back body stretch with each inhale. And it softens with each exhale. You can rock on the forehead from one side to the other, getting a nice massage on the sinuses. So great if you suffer from allergies like I do, or get sinus pressure in this kind of weather, this damp, mucky weather here. And after you've taken as many breaths that feel good, we'll take one more deep breath in, and we'll allow our exhale to rise us back up. If you had the hands behind the head, plant the palms back down. We'll push into the palms and we'll allow an exhale to rise us back. Alrighty, from here, we're going to come to tabletop position. So you're either going to do so by bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, the wrists underneath the shoulders here, really opening the hands nice and wide like they're two giant starfish. And we're going to stack the wrists underneath the shoulders, pushing into the fingertips, and then bringing the knees underneath the hips and pushing into the tops of the feet. We're going to allow the crown to shine forward. The gaze is nice and down, and the shoulders are externally rotating, and that means my elbows are externally rotating as well towards the front of the mat. Or internally rotating rather, towards the front of the mat. So if my elbow creases are shining forward, then my shoulders are most likely doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. And I'm really excited here because if you've been following me, you know that I had a broken hand, and this is the best tabletop I have done in a while, so I'm getting really excited here. But I'm not going to force it too much. I'm going to listen to my body. So if you have fussy wrists and hands like I do right now, you're going to come down onto your elbows. So you're going to bring the elbows underneath the shoulders, and still the knees are underneath the hips. We're still pushing into the tops of the feet. We have two parallel lines here with the forearms and the hands. We're still pushing into the fingertips. We're still externally rotating the shoulders, and their gaze is still nice and down, that extension through the crown here. And we're still have lots of integrity, really pushing into our foundation, breathing nice conscious breaths always. And okay, on our next inhale, I would like you to drop the belly, send the gaze up towards the sky, sending the tailbone with it. Breathe in, cow posture here. And then exhale, bringing that chin to the chest, really tucking the pelvis, just like we did seated earlier. Really allowing the crown to go down towards the mat here, and then breathe in. Dropping the belly, sending the gaze forward, pushing into the foundation. I find the more you push into the foundation, the more benefit to the lower back. And then we exhale, tucking the chin. And it takes time to be able to find all these things, to go through all these checklists, the pushing into the foundation, the alignment, the breath. So just know that it's a practice. So if you're finding you're getting frustrated or something is just not registering with you, be kind to yourself. You're practicing. You're not looking for perfection. We're just practicing yoga. Practicing self-acceptance. And acknowledge your feelings always. And maybe breathe them away if you can. Alrighty, on our next inhale, come back to neutral position. And then we're going to uncurl the toes. And then we're going to just walk ourselves up. So if you're on the forearms, we're just going to come up to our hands just quickly here. And then everyone's going to walk their hands back. And if you're in your chair, then you're just sitting up nice and tall. Maybe you're checking in with the neck, the shoulders, taking nice deep breaths.
Alrighty, we're going to uncurl the toes here and push, but if that doesn't feel good, I can just come onto the tops of my feet, and I can always bring my blanket, pillow, or prop that I have just to cushion a little bit. So whatever feels good, and I can even bring it in between the heels and the buttocks as well. Alrighty, so the feet are either tucked under or not, and if they are tucked, then you're gonna push into all 10 toes if you can, and you're lifting up through the center line, coming into this hero posture variation. So we're gonna send the arms out, and we're gonna plug the shoulders in, dropping them down and away from the ears. We're just gonna get a little stretch in the hands here. So we're gonna hold the hand down just a little bit, nice and gentle. Listen to your body, bringing the thumb to the palm, and just ever so gently stretching through the forearm. If you have tender wrists or hands, this is a very nice and lovely stretch to help here. And then we're gonna counteract that stretch by bringing the opposite palm just to the fingers and just gently pulling back. Just nice and gentle, one hand and then the other. And then we're gonna come back to all fours here. So if you were on the hands before, I'm gonna invite you to come down onto the forearms this time. So everyone's gonna come to the forearms, and we're gonna stack the shoulders over the elbows here, and we're gonna walk the knees back. So now that instead of having the knees just underneath the hips, we're gonna walk them back just slightly. We're gonna breathe in and look up. And then we're gonna allow the heart space to fall. And it doesn't have to come anywhere close to the mat, just trying. And again, I could bring the blanket in between the mat and my body to rise the floor up to me. Just coming to this poppy posture here. Nice heart opener. Nice stretch through the upper back body. And a release in the low back as well. If I find I have a really fussy back, I tend to come to this posture on the daily. I come to this posture on the daily. I tend to have a fussy back after a long day of looking after littles. If you did not know, I am an ECE as well as a yoga instructor. So after taking care of the littles all day, this is always a nice, yummy posture to come to. And then we're gonna slide it. So we're gonna lift the head, the heart space, and then we're gonna slide into home, coming down to the pelvis. And we're just gonna move the elbows so that they stack underneath the shoulders there. I was looking for a more sophisticated word there, but my relaxed brain did not want to find it, and we're just gonna accept it for what it is. Alrighty, we're gonna push into our foundation here. So the tops of the feet, the pelvis bone, the elbows are in two parallel lines. So we're pushing into our foundation, the hands, the forearms, the pelvis, the tops of the thighs, and the tops of the feet. Coming into the Sphinx posture, breathe in and out. Feel your belly expand on the mat as you breathe in and out. And this is a great one to come to if you're feeling frustrated. Pushing all your frustration into the mat with your inhale. Really feeling your belly expand on the floor. And then soften, letting your worries seep into the mat. Alright, allow the forehead to come down to the mat. You can bring your hands underneath your forehead for a little pillow if you wish. And we're just going to rock the hips one back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Excellent. And we're going to take 3 deep breaths here. So we're going to come to stillness, pushing into our foundation as we were before. The head is lowered this time, and as we breathe in, we're going to take 3 deep crocodile breaths. You're really going to feel your belly expand on the mat as you do. Again, fill your belly up with all your worries, all your frustrations. Really fill that belly up with there. So let's take that deep breath in. And then as you exhale, allow all those worries, frustrations,
anxieties just seep into the mat. Take another deep breath in again. And slowly let it go. One more time. Excellent job. Let it go. All right, we're gonna bring the hands in line with the rib cage, bringing them just underneath the shoulders here. We're gonna tuck the chin into the chest, really lengthening through the back of the neck, still pushing into the pelvis and the tops of the feet and the hands now, and the elbows are coming into the side body, so like little cricket arms here. From here, we're gonna breathe in, maybe peek at me if you need to, or if you wish. And we're gonna breathe in and then rise the forehead up, keeping the chin tucked, coming into this baby cobra. So the elbows are hugging into the side body. We're pushing into our foundation. We're gonna keep the chin nice and tucked just for now. And then exhale, forehead kisses the mat. Excellent job. This time, tucking the chin, pushing into our foundation. We breathe in, and maybe we untuck the chin just a little bit more, coming into a little bit higher of a cobra, and then we exhale, forehead kisses the mat. And this time we tuck the chin in and we breathe in. And maybe we raise the chin up a little bit more, the heart stays lifted. Or maybe I keep the chin tucked if that felt better in my body. Elbows are still hugging in, breathe in. And then exhale, forehead kisses the mat. Great job. We're just going to ever so gracefully roll over onto our backs. And as we get there, we're gonna hug the knees into the chest. Breathe in and out. Maybe rotating through the ankles, maybe rocking one way and the other, getting a nice massage on the back if you wish. And after a few breaths there, we'll bring the soles of the feet to the mat. And then from here, we're going to make sure that the low back is nice and cushiony with the mat here. And then we're gonna make sure the shoulders are walking down and away from the ears. We're gonna bring the hands just to our sides here, pushing into our hands as well as our bottom of our feet. And then from here, once I know that my back is nice and cushioned with the mat, I'm going to lift one shin, parallel with the ceiling, and then the other. Now the goal is to have the knees over the hips, but if it feels more secure, that your back is staying nice and secure with the mat, I might just bring the knees in just slightly, just so that we are protecting that low back. And so if I can get my knees over my hips and still my low back stays nice and secure, wonderful. But if not, we can just bring them in just a little bit. And I'm gonna bring mine in just a little bit so I know that I'm supporting my low back. And we're bringing the low ribs and the low abdomen together, knitting it together here. That belly button really comes to spine to support us here. And then we're gonna breathe in to start. And just one exhale, breathe in again. And as you exhale, drop your right toes down. Breathe in, lift them up. Exhale, drop the left toes down. Breathe in and lift them up. Exhale, right toes dip. Then they lift with an inhale. Exhale, dip the left toes. Inhale, lift. Exhale, dip the right. Inhale, lift. Exhale, left. Inhale, lift. Exhale, right. Inhale, lift. And the gaze is nice and straight up. Exhale, left. Inhale, lift. And then this time, drop both toes down. Exhale, and inhale, lift. Exhale, both toes. Inhale, lift. Exhale, both toes, and inhale, lift. Excellent job. Hug the knees into the chest. Give yourself a great big hug. Yay, you made it to the end of practice. Let's take a second to send the legs out nice and long. Maybe we bring the hands to the belly. Maybe we drop the shoulders down and away a little more. Scan from toe to tail and tail to crown. Noticing anywhere we might be holding or gripping. Maybe letting any sounds escape. Maybe allowing the lips to part, softening through the jaw and the forehead. Giving yourself permission to do absolutely nothing for just a mere moment before you scurry on to the rest of your day. Continue to breathe, notice, nurture, pause and ponder. Maybe you contemplate the focus of today's practice, self-acceptance. Acknowledging at any time if you became frustrated or if you just really enjoyed practice. Just noticing any changes, anything that might still be the same, anywhere that you can let go. Just nice, full, conscious breaths. The journey to self-acceptance is a bumpy road indeed. It is a road worth traveling. Some days are easier than others, but every day is worth trying. Taking these moments for ourselves to tap in to what is can really affect the rest of our days. And even if you only have a few moments a day, I do encourage you to close your eyes and take deep conscious breaths. Alright, let's bring a bit of life back into the toes and the hands. Maybe we move the tongue around the mouth, and maybe we rock from one ear and the other. If time allows, you can definitely stay here in Shavasana, taking deep conscious breaths. Or if you have to scurry on, let's hug the knees into the chest one more time. Bring the hands just behind the backs of the legs, and then we're going to breathe in, rock up, and exhale, rock up. Back up. Breathe in. Breathe in, back. And excellent. Let's cross one leg and the other. Come back to center on our mat. If any sounds escape the body, let it be so. And we'll bring the hands back to the knees just for a few seconds, just to stack the head and the heart and the pelvis. Lifting up nice and long through the spine. We'll bring the hands into the heart. We'll breathe in and out. Maybe we'll lift the heart space a little bit more up to the thumbs. We'll drop the shoulders just a little more. We'll take one more conscious breath together. Breathe in. And as we bow our head to our hands, the lighted knee honors and recognizes the lighted knee. Exhale together. Namaste. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. I
hope you're feeling amazing after this practice, and you can return to this anytime that you're feeling